And we're back from a few days off. I've been playing Pathologic, which has been neat. Some time off to forget that 7 spears made me angry again. Ha, you're alone now, loser. Fuck you. Ow, stop it. Ow. Oh, Jesus. Hey there. Ah, damn it. I'm not getting these timings right. Haha. Whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Nope. And ba-boom. Revenge. Kind of rude to be all like, I'm charging my final move when your enemy's like right in front of you and like, what are you doing? What? How dare you? We're doing a fight right now, or you know? Like, you know? So they want us to go right back down to the place we went to in the intro. I'm sure nothing bad will happen down there. Am I gonna get my other arm cut off? Oh, go, shut up, dude. I got places to be. I only rested because I wanted my heals back. Item. I see an item over here. It's a pellet. There we go. We're good. Hey, they added a checkpoint down here. That's new. That means we're definitely getting a boss fight. Yeah, a checkpoint like this only gets added because there's a boss fight like right behind this point. That's the logic of these games. Near secret passage. Got so many checkpoints. You didn't use that key, you liar. You just moved the bolt out of the way. There wasn't a keyhole. Yep. I knew they weren't going to have this giant dramatic boss chamber and only use it for a meant to lose fight that ends in 3 seconds. Who am I fighting?
Kuro-sama. Hisashi na Miko no shinobi. Miyo, fushigiri no mou hitofuri yo.
健一郎殿、そのようなものでは決してアシナの命運は変わりませぬ。狼よ、流因など誰の手にもあるべきではないのだ。苦労をかけるな。
行為参る。はあ、しまいとしよう。
How many phases are you gonna have this time? It's sneaky. Ow. What? What? That's a... How do you tell what type of attack some of these are? Obviously that was a grab. Ow. Alright, I'm never gonna get a chance to heal. I just wasted 3 heals. No, don't press Jen, no! I didn't even mean to press at that time, I'm an idiot. Ow. That was a terrible showing on my part. Hee hee hee. Ow. Ow, wrong attack. Ow, shit. Oh, shit. That wasn't a jumpable sweep. Oh.
Ashina no yo wa hakeru. Aware na mago no 最後の願いじゃ。わしはこのアシナをよみがえらせねばならぬ。故に赤炉。
Well, that was utterly distressing. Oh, it's Isshin Ashina. Shit. I kind of thought it might be just a fight you were kind of meant to win that time around because you become so much more strong. Uh-oh. Ooh, I had range. I figured it's been so long since the last time we fought him. We're probably meant to be significantly powerful to the point where he's like comically easy. And that's basically what it was, except for the fact that I completely squandered my advantage by screwing up constantly and used up all my heals. Ah. This is distressing. Gah! Fuck, his attacks are abrupt. This is not good news for me. Alright. Alright. Ah. Alright, I have these. Do I have to do the whole previous fight and all 3 phases of this fight every time? Ow. Not sure if you can deflect that or not. The wall hug death blow. Yeah, that's the type of advice people need during boss fights is stealth kills. That kind of stuff's probably the least necessary piece of advice you can give the player is like, here's how to better stealth kill the easy enemies that are between all the important fights. Oh god, I totally have to redo the entire fight from scratch, don't I? And he has a grab now, so that's great. Had that That hitbox was fucked, bro. I dodged completely out of the way and it hit me anyway. Oh, there we go. You know what, this attempt's doomed. I might as well just finish this off myself. Whee! And I'm just healing pointlessly. Yeah, okay, so you can't just hit him out of it. I don't know what you want from me. Do I need to turn tail and run away every time he does the shiny attack? Because that always feels really weird. I always feel like there's like a lag time before he finally starts running and everything. It always feels iffy. Oh great, Unseat Aid. It saved me from 0 of the consequences. My new state of being is pain. That was going really well, until it wasn't. Whoop. God damn it. Whoop. Yep. Pressed B. Two heals. Not great. Fuck, why do you have so many phases? Nope. Nope. Just 2 of those. Okay. Fuck me. Shit. Fuck. Ooh. 2 down. No transition. We're just going. Oh no, never mind, there's a transition. Oh, he's got a gun! Cool, that's fair. Yeah. Okay, he's Lubu. But worse. Which is not a sentence you want to hear or say, ever. Fuck. I will say, this isn't really that much of a complaint, but people will often say that, like, oh, it's really cool things about this FromSoftware games is that they're so fair when you get down to it, that, like, you could go into, when you get, at the end of the day, if you're really careful, you could get into any, you can go down into any boss fight and beat them on your first try. No. There's so much trial and error, and, like, if it was ever true, it's definitely not true with Sekiro, because these guys have so many insane attacks that you could never know that they have. And there's tons of trial and error with, like, that last swing that hit me, for example. Oh, look, he's doing a big swinging, sweeping attack, right? Jump. Nope, it's a stab. Just kidding. How would you ever know? You have to memorize it by seeing it over and over again. You would never be able to see him swinging a spear and be like, oh, that's actually a stab. The swing is a stab, not a sweep. Or the mega super ultra AoE mega attacks they do. There's kind of a unified language of the old FromSoftware games where basically some bosses will sometimes just straight up explode, and there's a specific way of showing that and setting that up that does make it seem fair. But this game, people can just whip out incredibly long-range melee attacks where they just do an impossible shockwave that goes forever. And that is not something that you could be fully prepared for in each individual case. Wow, that went well. He did that rapid-fire swing combo where I just deflected every hit and it was just over. Like he was one of those Vega-looking claw dudes. Ah. And there goes all my health. Goodbye. Ouch. Experimenting with being a sad baby. Sad baby initiation is a success. But now phase change of scary. Hehe. Good. Oh my god. What? Oh, because it turned into a dodge when I pressed joystick a bit. Fuck. Nope. Okay. That got a little confusing. Fuck. Whew, it's a long fight. Not achieving previous results at the moment. But if I can develop any kind of cheese strategy that makes a particular phase not particularly dangerous, then that just massively increases my chances with the other 3 phases. Oh, god damn. This is not gonna work out for me. If I can make him do that charge up attack over and over again, then I'm good. But I don't think I can really deal with that kind of reliability unless I'm just ultra patient and wait like 10 minutes to do the amount of damage I'm trying to do. I'm behind him and I can't get a hit in. What is this game, man? I'm literally behind him and it's like, that's not an opening. What are you, crazy? He's not human. Which one is it? Good luck guessing. They just gave you infinite attacks. Ah. Haha, you fell for the rock trick. Ow. It's a brand new day. Time to get the first really bad attempt out of the way. God, I'll never remember that that's how that fight starts. Oh, good start. Literally missing the easy attacks. Well, there we go again. Yeah. That's about how the first attempt is expected to go. Finally remembered to press B. Ah, it's not a stab that time? God damn it. He just straight up doesn't have patterns. He can just loop any of his attacks together that he feels like. What? So that time it wasn't a Mikiri, but it was the sweep. So he can loop together the same attacks, but sweep or not, but Mikiri or not Mikiri, but also substitute different Mikiris. Ah, it's brutal. And it's essentially 3 different boss fights. At least 3. Have I even reached phase 4 yet? Yeah, I can't Mikiri that. My character for some reason automatically deflects it instead, which is weird. I've never seen that behavior before. Nope. Whoop. Between a lot of his attacks, he pauses just long enough that I think his combo's over, which is when I try to counterattack, which is when he hits me. That's the one. That one always comes so late that I think he's done. Wow, I did better at phase 2 than phase 1! Ah! God damn it, he hit me. God damn it. What? I thought he was doing his how. You can't tell which weapon he's swinging? No! Yes! Have I been this far before? Uh-oh. That was a bad time. No. He's doing that again. Shit. Shockwaves. Oh, I wish I had more heals. Fuck. If he's doing lightning, I might be able to use that against him. So I might be able to just continuously throw the lightning back at him. Oh, I will be a total coward. I don't have enough health to fight him one-on-one. So I will totally run away infinitely if I can. And just try to throw lightning back. If I can do it right. Last time I did, I must have jumped too early because I hit the ground probably before I could pull it off. You have to be in the air, not only long enough to get hit by the lightning, but then to throw it back at him. God, he really, really, really chases you. He's scary. Get lightninged. He's not doing it. Wow, stopping for even a second was a big bad. Fuck. Long combo. Oh no. Oh god, where is he? That's one downside of that approach. He's never gonna do it again, is he? Nope. Oop. Gun bad. Nope. Oh, I'm alive. Technically still alive. Huh. Oh, I'm by the cliff. Danger, danger. Nope. My tiny, tiny baby weapon can't compete. Oh, I missed. Dang it. That could have been my chance. No! I had to wipe my hand because I'm sweating. That was a bad time for that. Should I do it? This is not the best plan necessarily. Ninjas fight dirty. What? What the fuck was that damage source? Ninja, vanish! Uh-oh. No. I'm like halfway there. I don't think I have anything else. Look at the mouse go. Where are you going? Where are you going, mouse? Here. Oh, is that my... Oh, that's my right stick. Oh, fuck me, no! That was an overinvestment of resources, obviously. I just lost a one-of-a-kind healing item via getting instantly killed when I tried to use it anyway. I couldn't get over the fact that this is my first attempt of the day, and I got like halfway through the last phase, and I'm like, ah! What a wild emotional roller coaster of an attempt. The first phase was such a shit show, and then phase 2 and 3 went pretty well.
巫女の忍びよ、竜の涙を手に入れられたのですね。
ああ。
これが竜の涙。お渡しした氷涙とともに九郎様に飲んでいただければ、我がゆりかごへ宿っていただくことが叶いましょう。巫女の忍びよ、ささめゆきがさ、白金の
More snow.
冷たい。
お米はきっとまた流飲を返すことを望まれるならば、竜の涙とともにお渡しした氷涙を九郎様に飲んでいただけば良いでしょう。そうすれば我がゆりかごへ宿っていただくことが叶いましょう。巫女の忍びよ、無事九郎様と共に戻って来られること願っております。
Oh boy. Yeah, the last phase running away seems like a good idea for a number of reasons, including the fact that like he gets really dangerous, but he also gets really slow and full of openings. Slow and full of openings. Yeah, that's most people that's been stabbed by a sword will become that. Like in the first two phases of Isshin, he is aggressive and hard to deal with and doesn't have a lot of openings. You just kind of gotta power through. Phase 3, he gets really dramatic with super attacks and lightning and stuff. There's a lot of chances to run away and get a quick hit in. If I don't spend like what 4 healing items on phase 1 again, God, if I had that many heals in that phase. All right, that was my blind attempt for that one. I definitely haven't been that far yet. God, every time. Thankfully, I block it every time, and it's not that damaging. Perfect. I took a little damage, but it got healed by the execution. Good. Motherfucker, is this happening? Oh, don't choke. Nope. Motherfucker. Motherfucker. That didn't even land. My attack didn't even land. No. God damn it. That's hard to time. Nope. Damn it. Fuck, fuck. Ah. Fuck. That's too fast of a charge up, man. For how big of an attack that is. Fuck. Oh, this is bad. Fuck, man. Fuck. Fuck. No! No! Why am I fucking up? Was that another gun? Like a different one? I found an opening. Like a kind of reliable one. Yep. No! 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 I just want to win. I don't want to do this for 3 hours like I might. Yes. No, I almost got 2 in. Sometimes he recovers really well. It might be based on how good of a counter I do, but I'm not sure. What is happening? I don't know, but I got 2 hits in, so cool. Hoo hoo hoo. What do you got against them rocks? Hmm? Hmm? I'm never going to actually counterattack correctly. Well, I did it once, almost. There was one time I did do the counterattack, but it didn't land. At least I can feel good that I did return lightning once, just not all the way. It's hard. That was a little risky. That was a little questionable. No! He's still coming, isn't he? Okay. It's close. It's risky. No! No. No. Yes! I'm free of Sekiro. Until phase 7 happens.
Sekiro. Saraba.
Wow. It's the morning. I was all settled in for like a day of just doing this over and over again. This is my second attempt today. Oh, that means lightning phase took me 2 attempts. I figured out the weakness to it really quickly. Someone will be like, "You're not doing it the proper cool mega ultra way or whatever," but like, I did it. It's not like I summoned help or anything. I beat it one-on-one via the in-game systems. And that's how old school like NES boss fights worked, is you just ran away like a coward from all the attacks until you could find a moment to attack. It was basically how games worked. He might have taken less time. I think he might have taken fewer attempts than the Demon of Hatred. Definitely fewer attempts than the Ape. And maybe Owlfather, and definitely Lady Butterfly. Oh, I'm so relieved. I get to replan how all of today's gonna go. I have like a whole day of open time that I was scheduled for this. I had this whole thing in my head where like where I was thinking, oh, I'll probably play all day today, or at least how much I can handle, and be like, I added this plan where like I thought that I wasn't gonna be able to beat it today, and that maybe tomorrow when the video was supposed to go up of the finale, I would like stream me trying to beat the game still until I did, unless I still didn't, and that'd be the replacement for the video, would be a live stream of me still trying to beat the game. I did it. Memory, Saint Isshin. The battle memory of an extraordinary foe lingering in the mind of the wolf. Blah 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 blah. At his peak, Isshin Ashina devoted himself to deadly conflict in pursuit of strength, a single-minded killing machine of a man. That's a disappointing way to measure people. At his peak as a man, he was a single-minded killing machine. Like, it's just such a disappointing thing to think of as being somebody's peak. Like, that's the best he can ever be, is literally a thoughtless murder man. Alright. Dragon Flash. Combat art performs high-speed cut from a sheathed stance. Charge to send out shockwaves. Cost spirit emblems to use. In his younger years, Isshin was a devil with his sword, spending his days in pursuit of life-or-death combat. He often ruminated on how a cut should be made, and his blade always moved first. I want to point out, I'll pat myself all over the fucking back. My arms are gonna get all stretchy like in JoJo. I'm referencing the fact that when the 3D animators had to make a video game version of JoJo, they had to spaghetti the shit out of the character models off screen so the arms could come in into the camera at weird angles to match the panels, because no human could actually do those poses. I forgot what I was talking about now. Oh yeah, patting myself on the back. I had to pull off 3 different approaches to combat in one boss fight, which is neat. That's always my weak spot. The hardest boss fights in Dark Souls games are always the ones with multiple phases. It was specifically Fume Knight, whatever, I can't remember her name, the boss of Ariandel and Ludwig have phases that are so massively divergent from the previous phases that you're like, this mental switch of having to do these different fight styles in a row. This one, the first 2 phases are 2 different but similar Sekiro parry fights. I turned the 3rd phase into kind of that, but also running away because he's more powerful now and you have to get away from some of his attacks entirely. But also phase 2 and 3 are shinobi tool phases to an extent, where I'm finding my openings to pepper in the lightning to get a free hit in because he's such a problem to deal with. And then phase 3, I'm playing it like Dark Souls style, where I'm not really engaging with the posture system as much as I'm actually just aggressively baiting openings and running away and going full self-preservation just to get one hit in here and there until he finally falls. Like, those are very different ways to play a game, and they're all in one boss fight. Whew. Not even... like, that was not demanded of me in Demon of Hatred. Demon of Hatred had different moves and phases, yes, but I didn't have to play them differently. It's just, oh, this is the one where he does a double swipe, or now he does the Ring of Fire and other tricks like that, but the strategy doesn't fundamentally change for Demon of Hatred from round to round, but it does here. I wish I could pull off the lightning thing more. It's like the Mikiri counter thing, though, where it comes at you relatively quickly, and you have to be prepared for a very specific input sequence you gotta do, and it's in response to a very specific thing that's happening. Although I kind of question it, because a lot of his attacks... He had 1 or 2 overhead lightning attacks that I saw, but he kept doing ones that were sweeps. I'm like, how do you do a jump that returns the lightning of a sweep if you can't... Wouldn't the jump make it not hit you at all? So you can't return it? I don't know. Definitely not the level of ease it was to return the lightning in the fight that was about returning lightning. I don't remember if I read this. Dragon Flash. Art performs a high-speed cut from a sheathed stance. Charge to send out shockwaves, cost spirit elements to use. In his younger years, Isshin was devil with swords, spending his days in pursuit of life or death combat. He often ruminated on how a cut should be made, but his blade always moved first. He often ruminated on how a cut should be made, but his blade always moved first. What's that mean? I think it's saying that he would dwell on what to do next during combat, you know, the art of his war and everything. But despite the delay of him ruminating, he still would strike first compared to his opponent. So showing that even when he's being premeditative and inquisitive and so on, he still is so fast that he's going first. I'm so relieved right now. Let's beat Sekiro. I hope I remember what oh wow, he was just in the boss. How did we not? I guess you're immortal. Didn't he have the immortality killing weapon too though? I'm just like, how did we not kill you in that fight? I ran on top of you and he like thunder slammed you. That's just rough. Well, the Divine Dragon's Tears were for the final ending. You need the Divine Dragon's Tears to get the ending at all. You need... There's the Frozen Tears, right? There we go. The Cradling Ritual can be formed. I'm gonna go with this one. It's like the hollow ending of Dark Souls 3. Like, it's the really complicated, hard to get one, so since I earned it this time, I'm gonna do it. And we'll see if I ever do New Game Plus. I don't know if this game will be as worthy of multiple playthroughs of coverage. Not because of its quality, but because of its... I don't know if it has enough variety to warrant playing it over and over and over and over again the way that some of the other ones can, because I can do different builds. I think, if anything, it'd probably just be catharsis of like, look, everything's easier now. I'm beating things easier because I've beaten them before. That's probably the main feeling I'd have. Whew.
おそばにおります。竜の涙を。参りましょう、我が巫女。
九郎殿、今はどうか安らかに私の心に留まってください。さようなら、みんな。私は行かねばなりません。我らの因果を断ち切るために。とても長い旅になります。それでも共に来てくださるのですか？
はい。
ありがとう、竜の忍びよ。九郎殿も喜んでおります。参りましょう。西に神なる竜の故郷に。
I'm so relieved right now. I'm just kind of riding a high. It's been 2 very difficult months. This has been more oppressive than even FromSoftware games normally are. Despite everything, I don't have massive qualms with the game, besides just thinking that overall its difficulty is overtuned to an extent that I just don't desire it. This has been discussed multiple times. Is this an ending, or is this just like a bridge? Yeah, we're not doing a painted world. Miyazaki just likes broken bridges that go over great expanses into abysses. He's done a lot of them. This has been a common discussion when we talk about why I like Dark Souls so much. And Bloodborne and whatnot, but also part of maybe why I've been less into replaying Bloodborne even compared to the Dark Souls games, because it also has that like high on its own farts level of difficulty that Sekiro has compared to Dark Souls, just to an extent, although even the sequels start to get there too. I've said before that like what appeals to me about Dark Souls and FromSoftware's style is the level design and the way that it demands you to pay attention, and like it doesn't waste your time. There's no padding in this game, aside from the difficulty itself, which once it reaches a certain level of difficulty, you can almost see it as a level of artificial padding on some level, perhaps. But as far as the content itself, they're not like, kill this enemy for the 100th time in a row, standing into this open field. Like, the closest this game even has is when it repeats enemies. But even then, each context, even when a mini-boss repeats, the context has changed. Although I have qualms with a couple of their individual examples being not great locations. Some of the cramped areas where you fight bosses are just a bummer. But overall, like, the gameplay style, the combat style, the level design, and so on, I don't think they're, like, flaws outright. Despite the negative tone this playthrough has often had, it's just because I am frustrated because the game is frustrating, and when you have a camera on you while you're frustrated, you know, people see you be frustrated. That's the experience of it all. And frustration comes out in all sorts of ways. And these games are basically, yeah, they're like designed to frustrate you to an extent. And so on some level, I don't know what else people expect besides just the idea that I'll magically just beat the game really easily or something. Some people have said that they don't remember it being like this in previous FromSoftware playthroughs, but actually while it may have been worse than ever here, because it was harder than normal, even more so, you go down the depths of those unabridged videos, the boss fights that made me do unabridged videos in the past, like Ludwig or Fume Knight. I'm pretty sure you'll see me just like going through the stages of grief and like going through denial and bargaining and blaming the game and lashing out and so on. Like I've been down this road like this is the 6th FromSoftware game I've done that's in this style. And yeah, I think people that think that I wasn't like this before are kind of wrong, because I remember it. I remember the despair of like being stuck in a boss fight for so long, for multiple days, going on a vacation and coming back, just dreading the entire time that I'm gone, that I have to come back to that boss fight and so on, which is the experience I had with both Isshin and Owl. I didn't play the game for a month, knowing I was going to come back to Father Owl, and then I didn't play it for 4 or 5 days while I was on a trip just now, knowing I was going to come back to Isshin, which was yesterday's recording, was me coming back. I don't know if you guys can even tell what days things happen on anyway. Like this is all incredibly familiar feelings for me, but I just do think that it's a little overtuned. And also the fact that, like, I do like the boss fights in FromSoftware games. I like boss fights in general, and I think that they're underutilized in video games, but that's also because people have been really bad at making boss fights, and most boss fights have been garbage in AAA video games for, like, the last 15 years. Outside of, basically, some Capcom games, and, like, character action games, and FromSoftware games, and indie games that can pull them off. Weirdly. But, like, while I like the boss fights in FromSoftware games, I feel like they're overutilized to an extent. Sekiro has so many of them, and frankly, the amount of content between them is so thin at times. I kind of miss going through what was practically a proper Zelda dungeon worth of content between boss fights at times in Dark Souls games. Like Demon Souls, an entire zone had one boss fight in it, period, in each one. And that was and it was capitalized by, now you get a new checkpoint because you beat a new boss because of how much dungeon we gave you. And this game, you beat a boss fight, walk into the next room, fight 3 guys, walk into the next room, fight a boss fight again. And you're like, it was a little bit of an overemphasis. I think that there's a pacing and a drama where you can hype up these fights and make them seem really cool. And they feel cooler when they're not quite as incredibly common. If you want to have 30 boss fights and go be hyper indulgent, then sure, but I just want to have a bunch of levels between them too. And so if that balance isn't there, I'd kind of rather have fewer. If resources have to be allocated differently, I'd rather have fewer boss fights and more levels to play along the process. Whereas this game, not only did it have this incredible level density of boss fights, it had you replaying the same areas multiple times as the game went through multiple phases, which is kind of a bummer. I've talked about, I guess we're doing the review here, whereas normally I do it in the credits more, but whatever. Or maybe I'll just cut this out and put it in the credits. That's an idea. If this is playing over the credits, you're extra confused. Hey, this commentary is me talking after the Ashina boss fight and decompressing. I don't know. I haven't edited this yet. I don't know what'll happen. I like replaying the same content as it changes multiple times. Like, that is a thing I like. I like it when Resident Evil does it. I like it when Onimusha does it. I like it when Castlevania Symphony of the Night does it. I like it when you play the same level, but the level itself is changing in some way, or it's being taken over by new enemies, and that's like, it's a recontextualization of a familiar space. It's just kind of a letdown in the really specific example of FromSoftware games, because exploring a new area is such a joy to me in a FromSoftware game that exploring the same areas is by comparison disappointing. Like, you probably noticed, I didn't really even explore the areas like the second and third time. I just went straight for the door that I knew was the exit, and would just pass through the zone as quickly as possible, kill whatever enemies got in my way, grab any glowy things I saw along the way, and just was basically just spot checking for boss fights. Whereas when I'm actually exploring a zone, I'm looking in all the little nooks and crannies and finding weird secrets and really actually exploring. And so I kind of felt double robbed of the exploration that I enjoy so much in their games, both because the boss fights took up so much of the duration of the playthrough, both because they're everywhere and because they take a long to beat, so oftentimes the boss takes longer to beat than the entire zone you explored to get there. But not only are they so dense, but also because the levels themselves are very often the previous areas being recycled in different ways that are both creative and disappointing at the same time. They can both be true. But the game's beautiful, and I want more like this. Not specifically Sekiro, but I like that they're branching out with Bloodborne and Sekiro and not just making more Dark Souls, because not only I don't want them to ever become stagnant. I don't want to play the same games anymore. I love Dark Souls as a trilogy quite a bit, but it'll always be there. Just like how you can always go back and play Majora's Mask again instead of hoping for more Majora's Masks to happen, and so on. It's better for a developer to keep making new ideas than to keep trying to recapture the same ideas to keep the same fans happy forever. It's just kind of disappointing because if you stick to the same thing, you're burdened by the reputation of the franchise, which is a problem that Dark Souls 2 faced, and it's a problem that Breath of the Wild faced, is that they're both games were like, this isn't a real Dark Souls game, and this isn't a real Zelda game, because these specific things happened that didn't meet the exact expectations of the level of hype that the, let's face it, kind of toxic fans project over their stuff sometimes. So when you change the setting and you change a bunch of the systems while still keeping some of the skeletal structure of what has worked in the past, but also changing the shit out of everything, you can really do stuff. Just like how, yeah, if Nintendo made a new adventure game, a new action adventure RPG, whatever you want to call it, series that was open world and featured not Link and not Zelda, then they'd suddenly have more creative freedom to diverge without people being mad about whether or not it's a proper Zelda game or whatnot, because it's a new IP. They won't do that because they know that they'll sell a bunch of copies by calling it Zelda. But that's kind of how that works. So I love that FromSoftware, by reputation alone, like, basically via like the concept of like auteur theory and like there's this, now there's a dog barking in the background. Basically via the cult of like the way that people will follow a particular director like Edgar Wright or Quentin Tarantino or whatever and just watch their stuff out of fandom of that person, and they don't have to make sequels to the stuff they made in the past because you'll find them when they make the new thing. That's one of my favorite things about those two directors, that they don't make sequels generally and they keep going. Kill Bill doesn't count. It was made as one movie and split into half because it was way too long. Like way too long. Whew. Just decompressing. I'm just getting over the fact that I just beat this boss. It's a whole thing. So I want them to keep doing this. Give me a new setting and a bit of new play style and surprise me every few years. I love that idea. Dark Souls 2 was a victim of the reputation of Dark Souls 1, and even though it's in many ways arguably the best game in the series, and Dark Souls 3 was such a response to the backlash to Dark Souls 2 that it was like fan service. Remember this thing in Dark Souls 1? It wears the skin of Dark Souls 1 like Hannibal Lecter, and it's a really good game in a lot of ways, but it will not let go of like 500 callbacks to Dark Souls 1 and a bunch of things just trying to please people because they were so bothered by 2. And just I don't like how the fame of a franchise eats itself and so on. So yeah, I don't have no fucking clue what'll happen next, and I hope to keep feeling that way.